And today's is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have a little bit of a real talk, and I actually have something written out. I know I've never done this, but it's halfway copied, it's halfway written out, it's halfway like, okay, I'm talking to somebody right now, and more than this person needs to hear this. Now, obviously, I'm white. I'm a male. I was born this way. And I'm sorry, very, very sorry that I'm not under the same viewpoint that if you have a certain gender and are a certain skin color, that your brain, eyes, and mouth all work. I'm not under the belief that they work differently. I believe that they all kind of work the same. People can all think normally, rationally, can all speak, they can all see, they can all observe, they can all experience. I do not believe that anyone is hindered in their ability in these things to comprehend as a human being based on their skin color or gender, but it seems like that's not the case. So I have this friend who is on the other side of the spectrum, and she has some really good points a lot of the times, and I've had to change what I think and how I see some things along the way. And in this particular content that she was creating, it was going to be about the Barbie movie, and she was upset at some of the reactions to people. There's a lot of people making fun of it on Facebook and social media. Some people who have went and saw it are calling it indoctrination, man-hating, etc. like that. And I was like, so why is everybody saying this? And she goes into explaining on how basically in Barbie land, it's a matriarchy, which I know some people hear patriarchy and they're like, oh my God, it's almost like liberal. Like nobody knows what a liberal is anymore. It's more so like a slang term. I feel like patriarchy is the same thing. So patriarchy is where you're in a male-dominated society and males run the world and females are only used for their objectivity, their looks, and their services. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And in Barbie land, it's a matriarchy, and it's basically making fun, in a way, to me, from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's making fun of today's society. So anybody upset at that, especially those within the male community and even the females in our community, if they're upset with how the men are being treated in the matriarchy of Barbie land, then you should really be upset with how the women are being treated in the patriarchy of the land that we live within. But there's a lot of mental, psychological situations that some people in their roles in a patriarchy could see themselves as beneficial or good or whatever, and people indulge into their benefits within the system, just like I'm sure there's people within a matriarchy who indulge in their abilities and their positions that they're put in based on what they have within that system. But regardless, from her explanation, it's a really good movie that is kind of making fun of society that we have today. And that's a really good viewpoint, really great way of looking at it. But somehow the conversation stirred over into some videos that I had shared recently and how women would be really mad at the videos that I had put out. And this is what happens. Typical conversation with this person. She kind of analyzes what I may be doing wrong. And in this situation, I analyzed what she was doing wrong, and I pointed it out. And I think a lot of more people need to hear what I had to say to this type of rhetoric. And her and her apparent friends, she said, would be really mad at me for sharing a few videos. One in particular was about how the one dude walks on the street and interviews girls, and they talk about how they cheated on their boyfriends and all this stuff and done all these things wrong. And I was like, hold on, that wasn't to shame women. That was to hopefully show women, because there is an ideology out there, and she might subscribe to it just a little bit, that all women are just innocent and all men are guilty. And that video was a great example as to how that's just not true. We should be judging people based on what they do, not what they look like. And she made a response to me that was rude to the point I stopped talking to her. And it was around the lines of, oh, well, you white male, aren't you so right? Basically just discredited me and what I had to think about the topic or the subject. I couldn't criticize the negativities that a certain gender was doing because I'm a white male. Okay? That's what I was told. So here is a statement that was made by me to this creator. I'm not naming her name. I'm not throwing her under the bus. I said, the thing is, oddly enough, I've always sort of felt that the reason you don't believe me on this or that or this aspect or opinion is because I'm a white male. And this is after I, hung, not talking, and she's pissed and oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm saying, here's what I think. I've talked to you for a while now. Here's what I think. I said, honestly, this has added up. And I feel like this is how you can come across out of nowhere with such opinions of me and feelings or interpretations. Like you sort of admitted this with your friends who would judge me off my post with an attack on women. And you and your friends more than likely talk negatively about me and white males, yet you hide your true feelings and thoughts in your personal little thought bubbles of buddies so that you can all play victim with one another while shouting out slanderous remarks to those ignorant white males you have to deal with in your hard, tough life. Then call them, us, the narcissist. You have been brainwashed, and this is what I really believe. You have been brainwashed to hate the white male, or men in general, tricked into believing everyone else and unfairly judging people based on their race and gender. Discrediting a person's ability to think based on the way they look or sex they were born in. Then want to virtue signal those being shamed and mistreated. Oh my God, the hypocrisy. Good and bad people exist no matter their creed. That's the fact. Poor versus rich people seems like a more sustainable argument to me than male versus female, white male versus everybody. Yet getting to know more people, I've learned that's wrong in many ways. I've learned to switch from all rich people are out to manipulate and to control society to that's a majority of the time true, but that's not the case for everyone. That there are inherent issues with the low class, middle class, and high class, and the way to fix those is for both sides to own their actions and apply changes for the betterment of everyone. You, those people who think like her, potentially need to do this with your white male versus everyone else. You reference it all the time without remorse or reflection. My video showing those women engulfing into sluttery was for those who think someone who is innocent because of their gender is not true. No, that's bullshit. Everyone has bad cookies. No one is perfect. And for anyone to think someone is better or worse because of their race or gender leads to the supreme being type of rhetoric that those bad guys from Germany needed to carry out their values and beliefs. You can apply this to any color or gender to conduct similar activities and cruelties. It's a thing that is horrible for any type of growth or sharing hands between the good of the world and identifying the actual bad that there is. The whole blame the white man or black man or woman or anything is being used to carry out bad actions and have a scapegoat or distraction to justify it. You are right in a lot of your claims on how women are treated wrongly and people are dumb. But people are dumb, not a person. And neither one of those labels should encompass white, black, male, female. Unfortunately, in today's world, they have done a good job with indoctrination, with indoctrinating society into viewing people in one of those boxes. So that they, not the ones across, male, female, black, they, the ones on top doing all this to us, can do bad things and use our own minds against us for a distraction based on the visuals. After I said all that, woke up this morning, she says she's joking, blah, blah, blah. Backtracking now that I threw some rational thoughts onto the topic. You could say you're joking about last night, but who are those friends that will judge my post? What about all these other things that you said with meaningful opinions in the past? What about all these things I'm referencing? You're not supposed to feel horrible about yourself, but you should question your own beliefs all the time. The actual bad people of the world never question their thoughts or beliefs. And it's why they do the things and believe the things they do. All these people hating the Barbie movie, they never try and think they're wrong or that their way of looking at it should be questioned or is not reasonable thought. As I just described with you, it's why I like talking to you, because you make me think. And I'm simply doing the same here with you. Be honest with what you think, but also be honest with thinking itself, especially when confronting a different viewpoint. I always think or question what I'm doing wrong. I try to judge individual people. I think that people are too caught up in blanket judgment It's completely wrong and based on indoctrination. Honestly, even if these hardcore white man hating viewpoints align with your thoughts and feelings, it is good for me to have this opportunity to explain to you how they could be questioned. It is also exactly the same as your Barbie statement. This isn't a blanket judgment of your character. Heck, you might even agree. It could be seen as a good thing, even if you still disagree. Heck, you could use these things in combating those who disagree with you in certain viewpoints. This whole man and woman thing is a very complicated subject with varying opinions from many sides. I care about societal issues and what they think, just like you do. You're a creator. You speak to people. But I also care about what you think of me a little bit more. I don't want to feel bad that I'm a white male. And you say things a lot of the time that make me want to feel bad for something I can't change. So, a lot of things I just got through explaining there, a lot of things I just said. Like I said, this is a real talk, not a racing talk. But this applies to everybody in everyday society. And there is a little bit more hate the white man than hate the man in general. Now, it's slowly becoming, I don't know how the Tates of the world take off, but it's probably because of yin and yang situation that we see happening across society in general. Obviously, being a white male, I see a lot of things wrong in our white male community and viewpoints and standpoints. That's why I agree with this girl who's on the other side a lot of the time. I hate hypocrisy more than anything, though, and some of this stuff is getting very hypocritical. And I think that some people need to reflect and think twice. Hell, I'll probably put this video out, see it, there'll be some comments I'll read, and I'll think twice about them. And they'll be like, well, maybe I was a little hard, or maybe I was wrong. But I don't think that, I may be right or wrong in this, but I don't think I'm being unreasonable. I don't think I'm being ignorant. No two people are the same. That goes for men, that goes for women, that goes for black people, white people, whatever. We are all different, but we also are all human. But I do think there is a lot of merit within what I just said. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Like the video, comment below. These will be some interesting comments. If we get any, we may only get like 150 views. I don't know. Comment below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I know this isn't typical things that I say. But I think when I said all this, I was like, man, people need to hear this. If I'm going to have a platform on YouTube and doing all the things that I've done within the past here and experiencing all the things that I've experienced and said and just all the stuff that I've been through in life, I feel like that I have a little bit of a opinion on this. But it seems like some people want to discredit my opinion and my ability to think and rationalize because of my skin color and my gender. Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. As always, be sure to subscribe, and we will catch you next time.
But this is how we ride. This is how